And Israel. Welcome back to episode two of the Real
Two
Deal.
time.
On this episode, we are going to attempt to count down our top 10 favorite movies. We can already tell you right now this is going to be difficult.
Or we're gonna chop down our favorite Truvies. I said what I said, sir. I said words.
I said what I said, but I know what I said. Anyway, I'm gonna make you go first just for that, asshole.
What? You ain't gotta yell. I was just repeating what you spew to the listeners out there. They're out there saying, "What the hell?" Well, that wasn't even English, sir.
It was English. It was.
So yes, we are going to be counting down our top 10 favorite movies of all time, and as
That's
Casey,
what I said.
I put it in English. You went ha 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 ha. I like bike cheese. Yes, sir. But as he alluded to, this is incredibly difficult. I mean, it really, like, if you had to like put a stamp of your top 10, like, to me, the Mount Rushmore and even then, like, Mount Rushmore, like, to me, how do you take one movie from like each genre and put it on Mount Rushmore? To me, it's a little bit easier because I think that I'll be able to pinpoint like the four, like, absolute, no questions asked. This is on my list, and not the list of Jericho. Anyway, so for me, starting off, for me, number 10, I am going to go with The Dark Knight Rises. Now, anybody knows me, I am one of the biggest Batman marks there is. And not only a mark for Batman, but a massive mark for the Christopher Nolan Batman. So Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises. And sometimes people get not mad or like give me the WTF aspect of it, though, but like, because so many people go to The Dark Knight because of how great the Joker was. And I'm with you. But just, to me, Dark Knight Rises had the most perfect ending to a saga that there is, which by this point, spoilers. I think the what's that old saying? The statute of limitations are done by this point. But just how that movie ended with Alfred, who is the only Batman character ever to make me cry, not only twice, but twice in the same movie. So I could tell you that much. But the perfect ending with him in, I believe it's like France or somewhere, and he had talked to Bruce earlier in the movie, talking about this dream he had, and him sitting across from him, and boom, there he is. I started the standing ovation in the movie theater when I saw it, and not to mention too, that was being my wife's first date, so a little bit of connection.
Okay. So I guess, and I have to cheat a little bit on this one, again, because this is a very difficult thing for us to do. I'm gonna go in the same sort of the same as you with a Batman movie, but I'm gonna go with two Batman movies because I can't decide which one I like more. And this may get heat because these some people hate these movies, some people love them.
I like how I do like the fact that you use my Hardy Boys logic when we did our TNA top 10. Like, I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna say a tag team.
So I have to go with Batman and Batman Returns. Um, I love those movies. The Tim Burton ones. I know there's some people out there who are like, that's not a Batman movie, blah blah blah.
And if you think that, you're an idiot. I'm just going to
Yeah.
say that right now.
I loved Jack Nicholson as Joker, and I love Danny DeVito as
The
Penguin.
Penguin.
I feel like somehow Danny DeVito just fit as the Penguin. I don't know why, he just did, and I love, like I said, I love Jack Nicholson as the Joker. Um, maybe could have had a better Batman. I, I don't know.
Sir,
I
sir,
could
sir, are you disrespecting Michael Keaton?
a little bit.
Michael Keaton is the GOAT.
I he's okay. He's okay.
My
He's
goodness.
okay. I mean, we could do our top 10 favorite Batmans. I don't want to do that. That's too
I
hard.
was gonna say, I'm like, wait a minute. Kevin Conroy, Adam West, Christian Bale, Michael Keaton. I refuse to put George Clooney on that list because he was not Batman. He has acknowledged that I apologize.
He wore the suit, damn it. Wasn't that the nipple suit too?
Bat nipples. Unfortunately, yes, it was. People crap on Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer is not the best, but I think he was criminally underrated.
Yeah.
He
I
he
I
fit he fit the visual, because this was before, unfortunately, where he's at now, physically, but man, in the early mid 90s, I thought it was fun. I thought,
yeah.
like, the Batman Forever was good, even though my old roommate's like, you only like it because of that damn song from Seal. It's a good song. It's a good song. What is wrong with you? Jim Carrey is the Riddler. Tommy Lee Jones is Two Face. Come on.
I mean, but why didn't they have Jungle Boy's theme in there?
By the way, yeah. Before we go any further, I popped. I popped for this for anybody that hasn't seen the theme song from Jungle Boy in AEW. That song, Tarzan Boy, is in episode 2 of Stranger Things. And I smiled with glee. And I yelled at this man. I yelled at this man before I started watching the season. I said, I don't want you to tell me a damn thing about this season. And what did I do? I turned around and said, why didn't you tell me that this song was in the season? I might be a hypocrite. I might be a hypocrite sometimes.
Because you told me not to tell you, so I did it.
No, sir, you told me not to say anything, so I didn't. You're confusing me. And I didn't want you to. So why are you yelling at me? Because you didn't tell me that the song was on here. Yes, again, I am a hypocrite. I fully admit it. But I
I,
was so happy.
one thing I one thing I did try to warn you about was the Sid Vicious stuff.
And here's the thing: Sid Vicious's leg break, that was child's play compared to what you see in the show.
I know. I was like,
I'm sure Sid Udy was like, I wish mine was like was that more devastating. All I did was just jump off the second rope.
and my leg snapped in half. Yeah, no, that was hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie, that was hard to watch in the show, and it happened so much, and I'm like, stop it, no.
And the one that had just happened to that poor kid, he didn't stand a chance.
It's
But
just the kids.
but
It's nobody else. It's just the kids. I'm like, why?
by the way, the Stranger Things is going into the classic 80s, um uh, device of there's a weird noise coming from the woods. I think I better go in there.
Better go check that out.
Oh my
Don't do that.
goodness.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, moving on to
Moving on.
number 9.
I'm gonna.
And, and this is the other difficult thing too, because I don't want to go recency bias just because of um a certain actress that is um a net worth of $9 million, and she does not have that anymore. Just saying, just saying. Um, and
I
again,
wonder who that is.
I'm not going to objection hearsay. I'm not going to put them all in there just because like that. I'm not going to do this madness you speak of. But the first Pirates of the Caribbean, the Curse of the Black Pearl, we have watched that. I especially, but me and my wife, we have watched that so much, and we have gone back since this throughout this whole trial. We've been going back and just watching all 5 movies in its entirety, and they're so good. Jack Sparrow is one of the most iconic characters in the last you know quarter century. Quotable entertainment, and obviously, yes, there's a soft spot for me because that's where I proposed to my wife at Disney on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. One of these days I will tell the story of how I proposed. I can laugh about it now. She was obviously she was obviously excited. I'll just say it, I'm an idiot, but that's the story for another time. But
Okay.
yes. So yeah. Objection hearsay.
All right. All right. Uh, so number 9, I almost put the 2021 Mortal Kombat in this.
Woo!
I almost did, but I don't know if I can yet. I
Not yeah,
still
I was gonna say not yet. I mean, like I wouldn't be mad if you put it there, but not yet, not quite yet.
I feel like I have to wait for the sequel to come out to see if I, watch that and that's good, and then the other one holds up. I love it, don't get me wrong, I can still watch it over and over again. I've probably already watched it like 20 times, but, um, so one night that I feel like is an underrated movie that I haven't heard too many people talk about, uh, and it's with, I'm trying to remember who's in the I think Ethan Hawke's in it and Willem Dafoe, and I wanna say Sam Neill, I think, but it's, Daybreakers, which is a vampire movie.
Ah, wait a minute. Was
I
it that or what? Was it that or was it the Covenant?
It was Daybreaker, yeah, because they might have also been in Covenant, but this one was, this one I loved just from right from the beginning, the first time I watched it, because it was a little bit of if you haven't seen it before, basically, vampires become the majority and humans become the minority, and the remaining humans have to survive. Basically going out during the day when vampires can't come out, or so you think, but they have specialized cars now with cameras so they can drive during the day, but ends up finding out that if you put a vampire in sunlight for a certain amount of time right before it kills them, it actually cures them, and and then their blood becomes a cure. It's a weird idea for a movie, but it works. Especially if you like movies where it's like obviously you have the classic vampire movies, but it's taken in a different direction. Um, I definitely like it, and it's one of those movies that I can just if I can't think of anything else to watch, I'll watch that because it always entertains me. Um, and I mean, it's got Ethan Hawke and Willem Dafoe. I don't know if you can go wrong with that.
Folks, what he really meant to say is that he put Twilight there.
Listen, vampires don't sparkle. That was gonna be my number one. God, stop.
That was the a cardinal sin. That was the cardinal sin, and but it was a book. Yeah, it's a cardinal sin.
It should
A
have stayed.
is a vampire is not just a regular old teen just rummaging through life, and I sparkle in the sunlight. No, that's not how this goes. But no, like I've seen the Covenant, and I believe I think that's what I had the tie into because of I believe Defoe's in that, and I mean Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe. Oh my God, Defoe was awesome. So all right, moving
So
on.
good.
This so good. I got it. You.
It's so good.
Number 8. Um, and this one is an absolute remote drop. Anytime it comes on TV, or obviously if I want to watch it from the beginning, but if I'm flipping through the channels and it's on, I stop. Apollo 13. As a kid, like I was really big into astrology and all that shit, and I'm have been a gigantic Tom Hanks fan forever. But I mean the cast: Ed Harris, Gary Sinise, Bill Paxton, Tom Hanks, um, Kathleen Quinlan. I mean, they're just the names go on and on and on, and even the side characters, the guys that are in the control room in Houston, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many guys. You're like, oh, I've seen him in X, Y, and Z. I've seen this guy. It's star-studded cast, and still makes me cry every time. Yes, I'm willing to admit it. I'm a softie, but but yeah, and you can't go wrong with, like, to me, any type of, not necessarily recently, but over the years, Ron Howard movies, Ransom, A Beautiful Mind, Cinderella Man, Apollo 13, a backdraft, yeah, for God's sakes. So I wanted to put that higher, but I'm like, there's a few more that I would say are channel changer droppers.
Yeah. Your bike's getting a little crackly. I don't know why, but we'll get through it. Uh, so what do I want to do? So next for me, another. It's a stupid movie, but I love it, and I think most people who watch it and are into this kind of comedy love it. That was mean, sir. Sending me mean messages. Anyway,
I don't know of what you speak of.
oh, it's better now. Uh, have to put Airplane on my list. I absolutely love this movie so much. I could watch it over and over. So quotable. It's so stupid. Uh, and there's always little things that you pick up that you didn't notice before in this movie. Just watching it over and over again. So,
Surely you can fly this plane. Yes, I can. Now don't call me Shirley.
so show. Ah, yes, it's such a good movie. Airplane 2, not so much. It's okay. But if you're gonna watch one, watch the original. Uh, but yeah, have to put Airplane on there. If it's ever on TV, I have to watch it. Um, or another movie. If I just want to laugh at something so ridiculous and dumb, I'll put Airplane on. It's and they do it right. They do the dumb, like, stupid humor kind of comedy right. I feel like, and I was actually watching a documentary about, comedy in movies a while back. I don't remember what it was, but we were talking about how now, they try to force it so much with like all of the like um scary movie, spoofs and stuff like that. They just try to they force things to be funny where, you know, um things like that, things like I'm trying to think of Spaceballs again, another movie that it just works because they know how to do it. Um, that's another movie I almost put on there. Um, but yeah, I love Airplane. It's just so good.
Now, I have to say though, the second Airplane, again, not as good, but it still has one of my favorite lines ever. Striker, 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 striker. And that dude punches that woman in the face.
uh, all right, Adam. I think we're on seven.
Number 7, lucky number 11.
Seven.
That's man. I wanted to say this for later, but it's just like I gotta put this in now. Whatever. Again, another remote drop. The Fugitive. That was one. Again, there a lot of the movies that I have in my collection. The ones that I talk about the most have been stuff that my parents have talked to me about. I've seen, whether renting it from the video store back when that was a thing, or it coming on TV. And The Fugitive is so classic. I that movie made me fall in love with Tommy Lee Jones, and maybe it started with Batman Forever, but Sam Gerard to me is one of the best movie characters ever, and I can literally, for some reason, tickle the fancy of many people. They're like, Jesus Christ, you do such a good Tommy Lee Jones. I'm like, I don't think it's that good, but I've been complimented on it. What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, warehouse, or doghouse in that area. Um, yeah, it's so good. I mean, Harrison Ford can never go wrong. Tommy Lee Jones, you can never go wrong. So yeah, The Fugitive. Hey there, bud. Where are you going?
I'm here.
Back live on 103.9 The X. We're gonna play those new sounds of Nickelback.
We don't have to. We really don't have to. Um. Yes, I am a Nickelback hater. Fight
As
me.
as am I. Nickelback needs to go away.
Yes, yes. I would. I don't want my Nickelback. You can keep it and take it far away from me.
Because by the way, like they were. What is it with? This is not a shot at Canadians, but what is it about Canadians and saying that oh, maybe if I act like or I make a song where I want to be a rock star, like really bad, like bro, you've literally been in a band for like 20 years, like you are one. You're not a very good one, but you are one, a la Nickelback, a la Chris Jericho. Did I say that out loud?
I think you did. You might have. You might have. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
What
yeah, you practically yelled it.
can we run the tape back? I don't know if he did. So next for me, again, another. You'll notice there's a theme with comedies. I like comedies. Anything that can make me laugh. Hey, Adam. Hey, why you messaging me? Hey, why you doing that? We're right here. We're right here. Are you gonna tell me that my account was permanently banned?
Yes, yes. But I was also asking you a question because I'm getting it on
Oh,
your
okay.
end as well.
Ah, okay. I don't know what it is with our. It might just be StreamYard. I'm thinking. I don't know.
Could be. Could be
It
because
could just be.
I've actually had a string of good audio when we do our other show.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Coming to America, again, a classic. Just it's so good. Uh, I mean, I feel like Eddie Murphy is just one of those comedians that just he knows how to make a comedy, and he can do all of these different characters, and he's one of the few people who can pull it off and make it work.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Fuck you. Yes, yes, fuck you
Fuck
too.
you too.
The royal penis is clean, Your Highness. It's so quotable. I love it. I did watch the second one. Again, it was okay. Um, I feel like some of it was forced. Some of the callbacks were kind of forced a little bit, but it was for what it was. It was decent. I didn't think it was great. Um, but I do love the original Coming to America. Again, it's one of those movies, like you said before, like I said before. If it's on TV, it's a remote dropper. I'm watching it, and I'm laughing the whole time. Such a good movie, and a good story in it too. It's not one of those comedies that's just trying to be funny the whole time just for the sake of being funny.
Yeah,
I,
it's not aimless. There is a point to it.
exactly. Yeah. Um, and then the sequel kind of picks up where it left off, which I do like. You know, I think it's like 20 years in the future or something like that. Um, but again, Coming to America, it's a classic. You can't go wrong with it. Uh, Adam, number
Mm.
six, I guess.
They're number six.
Yeah.
There's one I'm surprised you haven't mentioned yet on your list because it was something I suggested to you, even though the whole thing's only like 6 minutes long. But you know that doesn't change the fact that it's glorious.
I, what is that, sir?
It's a, Olaf presents.
That is too good to be on the list. That is, that,
Ladies and gentlemen, if anybody that has Disney Plus, I need you to go. I need you to stop this. I need you to go to. It should be in your queue, but if not, go to the search, type in Olaf presents, and it should pop up. Go to the very bottom. It's like a 6 minute clip, a collaboration from the previous videos. You will not be disappointed. It's one of the funniest things in the world. It should not be as funny. All I will say is it's time for the smolder. Hmm. Yes,
I
yes, you cannot see me do the smolder, but I am smoldering because I am from a remote location, if you will, hence my avatar.
I
Um
I just need to know who approved that because it makes fun of itself so much.
uh, uh does in my estimation, does it matter?
No, it does not matter, but I still want.
Because thank God they did. Um and the thing is, I kind of I almost want to put, you know, a particular well, there's a couple of Disney movies I could pick there, but to me that needs its own category. Maybe we'll do that one day, like, you know, top 10 Disney movies. Um but I'm probably I'm probably gonna go with, you know, with Inglorious Bastards. I am such a Tarantino fan, and that movie, when I went and saw that in theaters, that was the first movie I ever went to that got a standing ovation. It was so incredible. And for anybody that doesn't like to read subtitles, well, be prepared. It's one of the best movies you'll ever see. And yes, there's French, German, and Italian subtitles. Boo fuckity hoo. You owe it to yourself to see it. It's Tarantino at his best. Fight me.
Okay. Uh, What number are we on? I lost track. 6?
We're on 6.
I'm not good at the counting backwards or forwards. So, uh,
Clearly.
next, I gotta put another vampire movie. Uh, I'm going with Interview with the Vampire.
Aha!
Absolutely love this movie. Such such a good like story, and and again another kind of different telling of a story. It's not from the perspective of like like the classic Dracula. It's not from the perspective of like Jonathan Harker or anything like that. It's actually like going through the sort of the life of a vampire. Um, Starts off with I think, is it Brad Pitt's character who's sick? Uh,
No,
or,
Tom Cruise.
yeah, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Uh, yeah, who's sick, and he's offered, do you want to die or do you want to, live? And obviously, he chooses to live. He's turned into a vampire, and it goes through, the kind of sort of torture that it is to be a vampire because you know everyone you sort of like connect with is gonna die off.
And
Um,
I apologize. You're right. It's the other way around. Tom Cruise is already the vampire. Brad Pitt is sick, and then
yeah,
he becomes the vampire. Yeah.
yeah. I knew it was one of them, but
Yes.
um,
Yes.
yeah. But it's such again such a good movie, so well written. Um, it really kind of grabs you and pulls you into the story. Um, I think it's one of those movies it goes down as a classic, you know. Um, to the point where I've even actually I got the novel that it's based off of because I was so into the movie. I wanted to see the difference between the movie to the book. Um,
Compare and contrast.
yeah, exactly. So, yep, Interview with the Vampire has to go on my
Yeah,
list.
that's a good one. Like 1994, I believe.
I believe
And
so, yeah.
yeah, and crack it into my top five. And I'm stunned that it actually took me this long because I literally can put I literally could put 10 um Steven Spielberg movies alone just because I think he's that much of a genius. But Saving Private Ryan. Now, I have stipulated this to many people that this is not to me like one of if not the best war movie ever. This is one of the best like made movies ever. Like the style of it, the incredible beginning, and the just gut wrenching, no pun intended, gut wrenching scenes at the end. Um, for again, spoiler when Tom Hanks dies, that scene on the bridge with him and Damon is woof. That's a tough one, but yeah, I mean, if you want to sit back and watch chaos, whoo, Saving Private Ryan.
All right. I do like Saving Private Ryan.
And if you want to see a young babyface Vin Diesel too, did not know that was him the first time. I had to go back. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Vin Diesel.
Yeah. Yep. So we're top five. Number five for me. Oh, this is tough. This is a tough one. Um, I'm gonna put Men in Black at number five for me.
Men in black.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
one of uh Probably one of my favorite Will Smith movies. I love Will Smith as an actor. Uh, he's hasn't been doing good recently. He had a little
I was just about to say, keep my name out your mouth.
so we gonna keep his wife's name out of our mouth, but we gonna keep the movie in our mouth. I don't think that works that way. Um,
What? 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 What just happened?
I
We,
don't
we, we gonna keep Jada out of our mouths, but we're gonna keep Will in our mouth. Wait a minute.
listen.
That's not what I meant.
What I meant to say was we gonna keep Jada out of our mouth, but we're gonna keep Men in Black in our mouth. That's not what I
Don't
meant.
don't go down this route. This is the Wahlburger situation all over again.
Listen, I was just saying that I liked his meat in my mouth. That's it. He makes really good burgers. They were delicious. Okay.
Oh God. Why did I follow up on this?
You should have known. You should have known.
Not in the past, but in the recently.
Can that be a movie? Cause is that can I put that on there? Just
Thunderbolt Patterson. And if you move, only if you move.
it's just 2.5 hours of if you move, I
Again,
am if
again, like I said, Thunderbolt Patterson stuck in traffic. If you move, just move. It's a deep cut. Only we get it, and I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that.
Thunder, Thunderbolt Patterson playing Operation If You Move. If you move.
Playing freeze tag. All right, where are we at? Number 4?
Yeah,
Since
I
you,
went
you
with
were talking you were talking you were talking
the Men
about
in
Men in
Black.
Black.
Men in Black.
Yeah, number 4. Number 4. Ooh, go 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 go. Mm, 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 mm. Hmm. I'm still smoldering apparently.
He's smoldering.
Hmm. So, okay. Only because I got, and this is another one. I think it should have its own since there's 70 movies of it now. But the only thing that moved me in the theater, got me more excited than anything else, like watching it in the theater, has my favorite movie scene ever. Infinity War, the Avengers at Infinity War. That let me tell you something. Watching a grown man, a la me, like literally like jump up as if it's a football game, holding on to every little moment. It is incredible. It's like everybody that comes back from the portals of being quote Thanos and I mean Doctor Strange. He called it, folks. He called it. That's why he's one of my favorites. But I Infinity War was such a joy to watch in the theaters, and I've watched it a gazillion times since, whatever though. But I can't. It's again one of the rare times a superhero movie will move me. So number 4, sir.
Okay, okay. Number 4. I gotta go with
Men in
Edward
Black 2.
Men in Black 2 because I love me some Men in Black in my mouth. No, Edward Scissorhands. Uh,
Yes.
yes, I again Johnny Depp, Tim Burton. You can't go wrong. You can't.
Well, I mean, there was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, so I mean they can kind of go wrong.
But there were so many memes. So again, you can't go wrong.
But at what cost?
I'm okay with that
Oh
cost.
my God.
I'm okay with it.
They took one small person and just CGI'd him. But no, no.
Listen, I tried to get on the movie, but they didn't want me. I was too tall. Anyway, yeah, Edward Scissorhands. It's a I hate using the term cult classic on some movies, but it is. Um, it's just one of those movies you can go back to.
Sir, that is not a cult classic. That's just a classic.
That, but I'm in a cult.
Cult of Cornet?
It's your fault.
Yeah, I will take responsibility for it, but all I will say is
You jerk. But yes, I absolutely love Edward Scissorhands. One of my earliest memories of a Tim Burton movie and of Johnny Depp. So that's really what I associate with those two the most. Um, but I again just love it. Good storytelling. The visuals and how they shot it. Oh, it's just so good.
and anything with Vincent Price makes it all that better.
Yes, yes. I almost forgot about that. Yep, so good.
So
Number
good. So good. I got a you. Oh, so number three. Number three, and again, it's another another retro old one, whatever though. But I just, God damn it, it's so good. The French Connection. Gene Hackman and Roy Shire. I believe this is 1971, and I'm obviously a big fan of like crime dramas and stuff like that, and obviously there will be a theme with this one and the next two, but Gene Hackman is out of control good in this. I mean, he won an Oscar for it. My God, for God's sakes, it won Best Picture. Um, it has to me, it's subtle. It's like, it's not Fast and the Furious stuff, whatever, but it has one of the most insane car chase scenes you will ever watch because it is a car chasing an elevated train. It's phenomenal, and again, and an ambiguous ending kind of leaves you with a really hardcore cliffhanger. It's based on a true story. For some reason, they decided to make a sequel. Still don't know why, because none of that stuff happened. But nonetheless, but yeah, the very first one, the French Connection, is incredible.
all right, all right. Uh these two, I might these next two, I might get some heat for with people, but
You will.
I will, I will, especially this one, because a lot of people think the first one is the best, but I personally for me, I like Back to the Future too, just a little bit better than Back to the Future.
I am about to hang up. Why? Why?
Because
I love the
Michael
second one,
Jackson,
but why?
I just like I don't know because they actually they they don't go back to the future, but they go to the future. I don't know, and it's got Michael Jackson.
Beef, and pork.
Yeah, I don't know. There was just there were so many things that kind of grabbed me when I that sounds grabbed my attention and my imagination when I was a kid watching it, and I don't know, like the hoverboard, the self-adjusting jacket, which we don't have yet, and that movie was
Self
that
drying too.
yeah, yeah, and that movie was set in
Yeah,
2020.
yeah, and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I I love the Back to the Future movies. Period.
Yeah.
I like the third one better than the second one.
See, and I didn't like the third one.
I am going to punch you in the throat.
I have to go watch it again. I remember when I was a kid not liking it, and I haven't really watched it.
ZZ Top's in it.
Okay, and
ZZ Top's in it.
cool. Just cool. That doesn't mean that I like it.
But you should, because it's cool. Because
All
they're in
right.
the old day into Old West, and Marty beats the shit out of Biff with doing the Clint Eastwood thing, and then he falls into a pile of manure. You don't see no manure in the second one. What the hell's wrong with you? Back to the Future 2's manure compared to the no. Here, this is the big thing. Like, because I hated it as a kid just because of how it ended. But as time goes on, obviously, I'm like, okay, I mean, this is obviously still iconic. It is still entertaining, but you have to have it. It's like Empire Strikes Back. Like Empire Strikes Back as a movie, standalone movie, is one of the best movies ever made, and that's the sequel to the original Star Wars. But and
Yeah.
again, but like but I'm classic old school heel and baby face but the heels are winning in this one. I don't like it. But that's like you have to have the level of vulnerability when it comes to your protagonist. And in this case, Marty, finding out about like his dad when he comes to the new version of 2015 because Biff goes back in time, gives himself the almanac, and becomes a millionaire, and he comes back to the different reality. Finding out about his dad and seeing that that Doc is in a shack, and his mother is married to Biff. It's just crazy. So yeah, that there's that aspect of it, like, and I've liked the ending a little bit more the more times I've watched it, particularly that they get the almanac, they burn it, and then you just had a minor catastrophic moment when Doc gets the time machine gets struck by lightning, and then boom, he's back in the 1800s. But it is a cool transition from that happens, it starts to rain, and then there's that dude that comes down the road with the letter. It's like we've been holding on to this for 70 years, and it's just like aha. So, by the way, my wife also made a joke at that scene, which I will not say on air, but it was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Back to the Future, the first one is one of the goats.
Okay. Fine. Whatever. Isn't it? Did you just go number two? Not.
No, no. After I have dinner, maybe.
Did you pick your number
I
two?
have not. I have not picked my second movie just yet. Get your get your toilet humor out of here, you gum bumping sack. Anyway, number two, The Godfather. And people can have the debate with me, to the end of time. Like you can make the argument that two is better than one. I I won't be mad at you if you think so. The Godfather Part Two is incredible and arguably one of the best movies ever made. But to me, the first one is I hate to say, in quote where it's at per se, but I mean, again, the iconic scene after iconic scene, quotable, the characters, the infamous causeway scene where James Caan gets his soul destroyed with the machine gun uh, ambush from the other gangsters. Um, but like, oh my god, it's so incredible, so iconic.
It was okay. It was okay.
So did you take number two?
I'm taking a number right now. My number two is another number two. Home Alone 2.
We were just talking about that the other night.
We were. We were. Um, and again, don't get me wrong. The original Home Alone is great, and I could almost flip flop them, but I don't know. There was something about Home Alone 2. They fixed a part of it recently. Um,
We won't go into as to what, but we'll just say it's a lot better now. It's a lot better now.
it is a lot better now. It was great before, but it's a lot better now. Um, I just loved Home Alone 2. And yes, I've heard people point out the fact, and I've noticed it too, where Macaulay Culkin's acting is kind of meh in it. Um, he's and I
Before you
think
go any further, I can't. We will again. We will not mention Voldemort's name. Do you realize that half a second of airtime got him in SAG? People bust their humps forever for health insurance and stuff like that. That dude said one line and was set for life. He is no longer in SAG because he thought, I'll show him. I'll just leave. Anyway, just want to throw that little nugget out there.
yeah, but no. And again, if you go back and you watch Home Alone 1 and then Home Alone 2, you do see a significant difference in Macaulay Culkin's acting. And I've heard a lot of people say it's probably because he got such he became such a star that he kind of uh, maybe felt like his shit didn't stink, so he didn't have to put in such a great performance. And I mean, he still did, but it was kind of there's some scenes where it's like you could have been a little bit more animated. You could have um, got a little bit more into it. But again, I love the movie. Um, the sticky bandits this time instead of the
I was going to say they make the movie.
yes,
Let's be honest. They
absolutely.
make the movie. That and Tim Curry.
Yes, I love that movie. Just for them, it's so good. Um, but yeah, Home Alone 2 is my number 2.
And by the way, just because he's a young, strapping young lad in the movie, but Rob Schneider, you can go fuck yourself. Just want to throw that out there. So, again, we don't have to go into that. That's not what this show's about. But reasons. So number one, unequivocally, no questions asked, and it's been this way forever. And my God, rest in peace, Ray Liotta. I still have not processed this, but Goodfellas. Again, another one. Martin Scorsese is one of the most gifted directors ever to grace cinema. And I mean, again, you can go from all of Raging Bull, The Departed. Speaking of Mark Wahlberg, Shutter Island, Gangs of New York, which is got all the praise in the world, and to me is still criminally underrated. Like to the Oscars and the Academy Awards. You mean to tell me that Chicago was the best movie of 2002 and no respect at all for Gangs of New York? Daniel Day-Lewis is incredible. And then I mean I'm such a and I'm a Pacino mark, which is why I love The Godfather, and I'm a De Niro kind of jumping ahead. De Niro is probably my favorite actor ever. And speaking of Joe Pesci is the star of this movie. You ask You ask anybody that was a gangster or is really in depth in that line of of living. Joe Pesci is the star of that movie. It was like, hey, what are you doing? I thought I told you to go get your mother. So can watch that movie time and time again. And I believe somebody on this call has just watched it for the first time.
I don't know who that is. Who that
I
guy?
I believe the person said I watched the movie about the fellas that are good.
Some of them wasn't too good. Some of them was bad. He he shot that one guy in the one scene, and I was like, "What he do? What he do wrong? Come
You're
on,
gonna have
tell
to be
me."
more specific because there's a lot of guys. Are you talking about Pesci?
Yeah,
He shot.
he shot that poor man.
I'm sorry,
Like,
I wasn't prepared for that. Yeah,
he shot him so many times. He just shot him.
yeah, Yahoo, you motherfucker!
I mean,
Go get me a drink. Move, you little prick. That eventually that person he shot was the character Spider, who eventually became Chris Moltisanti in The Sopranos. For all you nerds out there.
how is that possible? Because he got shot.
God.
Saw it. I saw him get shot.
All right. So who's your number one? Or what's your number
My
one?
number one is I'm cheating again. I
Don't
don't
do
care.
it. Don't do it. Don't you do it.
Don't do what? It's
Just
not
don't
the.
do it.
It's not the room. It's not. It was
Oh, hi,
almost the
Mark.
room. It was almost the room, but it's not. I have to put this in as a series of movies because they're
How do
all
you
so
how do
good.
you how do you just choose one?
Exactly. Exactly. I can watch them anytime. There's one that I'll specifically watch around Christmas time, but the National Lampoon's Vacation movies are literally my favorite movies of all time. I just watched Vegas Vacation earlier before work. Um, I feel like European Vacation is underrated. Great movie. The original Vacation, uh, and then obviously one of the I feel like the most popular ones is Christmas Vacation. Um, back before Randy Quaid lost his mind and posted that video.
It's my favorite monologue ever. It's my favorite monologue ever because it's so relatable. And I want to tell what a cheap lie, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, ignorant, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spy-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is. Hallelujah. Holy shit. Where's the Tylenol?
One of my favorites is kiss my ass, kiss my ass, kiss his ass, kiss your ass.
Kiss his
Happy
ass.
holidays.
That's right. That's right, Edward. Anybody ever tell you that you're an incredible disappointment? Those were my mother's dying words. How about when he's got that damn bad sweater on. He's fucking with that little wooden structure, whatever it is, it just collapse, and he's just like, eh. No, I'm not going to say Grace. Grace died a long time ago. No, she wants you to say the blessing. We're gonna have, and we're gonna get things together, and we're gonna have the happy happiest Christmas since Ben Crosby danced with Danny fucking Kaye.
Okay.
And we're gonna be the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house. Even though Chevy Chase is a raging prick, that is like I said, I piss myself every time, whatever. It's so, as you can see, it's so relatable, so relatable. Especially at the beginning when they're trying to get the tree, and he's like, the Grithball family Christmas.
just a little sap. Just a little.
Just a little sad. If this isn't the biggest bag over the head kick in the ass.
I love the neighbors. I wasn't talking to you. Yes.
Or when he and he mule kicks the stand-up Santa outfit. I haven't watched it at all. I swear to God, I haven't.
We've never seen these movies before. Never, not one time. No.
It just came to mind. I just said it.
Yeah, it just popped into my head. Is that even in the movie? Did you say that?
And I've only watched Vegas Vacation one time, and it was like I was like in 7th or 8th grade. And it was like the last day of the year, and like, oh, we're gonna watch a movie. Like, and I remember some of it, but I just remember, what's his face is like, and finally like, I won, and then he dies.
Yeah, no, it is really good if you go watch it. It's on I want to say Paramount, I think.
Okay.
It's on one of their streaming services. We have like all of them, but like whatever. I think you have most of them too. But yeah, it's definitely on there. And again, I think a lot of people, don't realize how good European Vacation and the original Vacation movie was, where they're trying to go to Wally World. And I think doesn't John Candy play the security guard? I think I want to say he plays the security guard at Wally World. But yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But I had to put all those because I can't. If I absolutely had to, it would probably be Christmas Vacation. But they're all so good. They are all so good. And now you told me that Chevy Chase is a prick, and I don't want to believe you. I want. Bye, Adam. Adam probably had technical difficulties, but I guess that'll be the end of the show. We will be back next week talking about another top 10 list that we're gonna do. That'll be a surprise. So make sure to tune in next week and follow us on our social medias. It'll be the same as the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. ICW podcast on Twitter, Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook and Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. You can go to our YouTube channel, Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. Obviously, please hit the subscribe button here. But we will see you on the flippity dippity. Oh.